And then it got to the point where I was like, you know what? These feelings don't matter. I can just do this, that, and the other, and then I won't feel this way. And she goes, your remedy for your feelings is to do something. And I was like, yeah, so what's wrong with that? I don't understand. Like, it doesn't involve the other person. So the other person doesn't have to know about my feelings. I can do some like work and then therefore it's solved. And she's just looking at me. I'm like, well, what's your remedy? She goes, to express something. I don't really want to be all out there like that.
And so like I'm like, before I do something, let me just express, because this is what I'm going to do now. You know what I'm saying? I have to tell you everything, so when I start acting weird, you're not confused.
Yes.
And so you're just like, I'm gonna just act weird.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Beleaf Mel.
And we're here with episode 69 of How Married Are You?
My name Beleaf, this is Yvette, and we've been married 9 years. We live in California and we have 4 kids. Relationships are scary, it's very necessary that we share all of our struggles, and we ask how married are you? Every Tuesday and Thursday, shawty. If you listen and you're in a wedding party, if you're feeling it, it's okay to put your hands up. You had the questions, we got the answers. It's chocolate baby story time.
Chocolate baby story time.
Look, chocolate baby story time. 1 and a 2 and a 3, let's go.
It's chocolate baby story time.
Was I hiding my face the whole time?
You go. You go, babe.
Me go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had one lined up too, and I forgot it.
All right, well then I got one.
Did I already? Okay, go ahead.
This is rough. You're gonna hate it.
Okay.
All right. So our last intimates. This is episode 69.
Oh my gosh.
This is episode 69. So you know we gotta kind of get out there. It's 69. You know.
Really?
Yeah. All right. So look. So this last intimacy session. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but sometimes the baby just be in the way. Don't try to hide your face, Mrs. Melanin. Come back. You're welcomed here. This is a safe space for sex. So anyway, so we were in this intimacy. We were. All right, come on now. You're interrupting. So we're doing our thing, and the baby's like right next to us in the bed. Now I know some people are kind of like, you do it with the baby in the bed. You got a king size bed with small people. We scoot that little joint to the side.
Man, I'm so uncomfortable.
And we go ahead and do our thing.
So uncomfortable.
You know what I'm saying? So then he wakes up and he's like crawling on me, and I don't stop. I just kind of pick him up. And she goes, "Are you serious?" No. So I put him back down, and then he gets back up on me, and I'm just like, all right. So that's my chocolate baby story time. That was a good one.
Where is the eject button? Oh my goodness.
Talking to the mic.
Okay then. Well, I feel like that's it. I'm done.
You sure?
Do I have one?
It's okay if you don't have one.
I know, because the ones I'm thinking of would embarrass our children. I don't want to embarrass our children.
Okay.
I mean, not that we don't do that enough, but
Well, who did I just embarrass now? Because Uzi's gonna be scarred.
I am
Immensely.
embarrassed.
Okay.
Thoroughly.
All right.
Goodness gracious. I will say that Anaya and I have been getting in some quality time.
Yeah.
She started her music class again on Tuesday, and we had a good old time. She is so funny. She's definitely, I don't know, she might be a singer. I don't know if this is a thing that all kids do. I don't think that Theo and Raya were necessarily ones that like sang all the time.
They weren't in singing class at their age, so at her age.
But they're in singing class now and they still don't sing like that. Anyway, she's just singing, so we might have a little singer on our hands.
Nice.
And I think that would be lovely. But yeah.
Okay. You ready to get into this episode?
Yeah.
All right. Well, first, before we don't have an official sponsor for this episode, but I am dropping a video about this piece of equipment we've been using. It's called Lumi by Pampers. It's a connected care system that connects the babies. It has a sensor that goes on the diaper that connects to an app, and it also connects to a camera, so you can see through the app when the baby's diaper needs to be changed or when the baby's sleeping. You can track all this stuff to keep your baby on a routine. So and it's super health. It's like nothing wrong with it. People are like, well, what about that like sensor being so close to the baby? And like how people used to say, like, if you use your cell phone, you're gonna get cancer, which is definitely possible. But we looked at a lot of the information and stuff like that through the technology of Lumi by Pampers, and it's like using Lumi by Pamper for like 10 years is the equivalent of using your cell phone for 10 seconds. So it's very like low on that side of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't emit a lot of like transmission and, waves and stuff like that. So anyway, I love Lumi by Pampers. It's something we've been using. It's really dope. Make sure you check out the YouTube video that I'm putting out with Uzi. And basically it has this little device. So I think you guys would love it. If you're new parents, this is the one device I would get, because it's a sensor. It tracks your feedings. It tracks the baby's routine, and it's a baby monitor. And this is what we've been using. Whenever you see us get up and go get the baby, like, that's what we've been using, is the Lumi by Pamper.
Or if you see me looking over there a lot,
yeah,
I'm looking at the camera.
Yeah. So check it out. All right, let's move it.
Yeah. So today I had an appointment with my therapist.
Oh.
And I came home and I was just telling Kay how I just really want to go curl up in a ball and go to sleep.
Jeez.
Yeah. I was like, are you supposed to feel
worse
or better? And then I was like, is this really worth it? Like, is it really worth it to just like be going here and having her like tear into me and be all exposed, and then anyways, I was sharing with her some things, and I wrote down some things that I wanted to just kind of get your feedback on. So I was telling her about some feelings that I was having about a situation. It doesn't have to do with you and I. And I was and then I was kind of like, I was talking through it with her, and then I was like, this is silly. It's probably nothing. And then I started to rationalize it. And then like she let me talk for a really long time until she was just fed up. And she was like, I know you're a very intelligent young woman, but you are, she just tore into me. She was like, you are rationalizing or overthinking or something. And then she goes, you're putting up a wall to prevent her. She said I was putting up a wall to prevent her from seeing me emotionally. And she goes, and that's what you're doing in all of these relationships. And I was like, huh? I don't know.
Putting up a wall for them to
prevent her from seeing me emotionally. She goes, my feelings and my thoughts are at odds right now. And then she goes, my remedy for my feelings is to do something. So I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't know who listens to this podcast that this is relevant to. But basically, I'm feeling some type of way about a situation. And
something you haven't talked to me about, because I don't know what you're talking about.
I know.
This got me really confused.
I'm feeling I know. And the reason that I haven't talked to you about it is because I'm embarrassed for feeling the way that I feel. Mm-hmm. And she was asking me, like, why are you embarrassed? And she was talking to me about my relationship with these people. And it was just interesting. Anyway, but basically, I started to talk. And then it got to the point where I was like, you know what? These feelings don't matter. I can just do this, that, and the other. And then I won't feel this way. Mm-hmm. Right? And she goes, your remedy for your feelings is to do something. And then she said, and I was like, yeah, so what's wrong with that? I don't understand. Like, it doesn't involve the other person. So the other person doesn't have to know about my feelings. I can do some like work and then therefore it's solved. And then she goes, and I was like, and she's just looking at me. I'm like, well, what's your remedy? She goes, to express something. Like, rather than do something, express something. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Nah. Like, I don't really want to be all out there like that. And then she goes, society has imposed on us that a certain level of weakness comes along with expressing your feelings. And I was like, I didn't really think that I was susceptible to that. Like, like, I feel like I express my feelings. I may not always have, and I was telling her, I was like, I don't have the vocabulary to, because she was asking me some things, and I was like, and then she got really frustrated with me. It was like I was getting a verbal spanking, basically. But it was like, I was like, I don't have the vocabulary to express these feelings. And then so she pulled out this double-sided piece of paper with all these feelings listed on it. And she was like,
circle them.
She's like, start telling me, like, start using this paper to whatever. And then so I did. And it was amazing, actually, to be able to put words to those feelings.
Yeah.
But
yeah. When I saw you for date night, like, even when you were communicating me through text, it definitely was a mood adjustment. Like, you got changed from the morning when I first saw you. And so I forgot that you had therapy today. So that makes sense now. But yeah, I would say that I would say you are not like me, and I'm very expressive of how I feel. But and so, like, I'm like, before I do something, let me just express, because this is what I'm going to do now. You know what I'm saying? I have to tell you everything, so when I start acting weird, you're not confused.
yes.
And so you're just like, I'm gonna just act weird.
Yeah. Mind blown right now, because that's totally true. You express, I do.
Yeah, you just shift, and then, like, it's irritating for you, but you just do it, and it's just kind of like, I'm just gonna do this because he will never, or because they won't adjust, or whatever, you know. And then it's like, I didn't even know you were bothered. You just, like, you've that's now a truth to you, and therefore you must act accordingly to, like, protect yourself.
See, I don't need her. I just gotta come sit on your couch.
I don't want to hear this crap. I don't want to hear your issues all the time. Shoot.
Babe, that was only one part of my session today. It was like, today we actually, like, I even started to cry in her freaking room. I hate to let people see me cry. There was, like, so much. We can't necessarily get into it. I'll save some of it for Yvette Unplugged.
Ooh. I seen you was getting kudos about the new episode. I haven't listened to it yet.
It was a good episode.
I'm excited. You were just talking to yourself and it was good, huh? Goodness gracious. Look at that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just really, like, it's like, okay, Yvette, this is what you set out to do. Like, this is something. I was in the episode that you didn't listen to.
You just put it out today.
Exactly. You listened to it. You should be the first listener, fool.
I have work. Come on, man.
He's like, I have a life outside of you, Yvette. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go there. What was I trying to say? Oh, in the episode, I don't know if I told you. I'm
excited to listen to it. I don't even know if I want you to tell me. Make everyone listen to it. Are you about to tell me something that's in the episode?
Yeah, but it's like a small part of it.
All right.
Maybe I shouldn't say it. Go listen to
Yvette listen to Yvette Unplugged. Link in the description or in the show notes. Also, we're going to be launching a How Married Are You Patreon.
We are.
This is for anyone who is a part of the wedding party that wants to go a little bit deeper and basically get to know us. We're actually going to create content for that. Not in a very difficult way. It's going to be very linear, but the conversations we're having about certain things we're going to be talking about. So I have some like episodes that never made the vlog that I feel like would be great for How Married Are You Patreon. So yeah, and we might be switching from Anchor just because, you know, Anchor might not be doing as well as we thought it would. So we might be switching up. If you have any suggestions of different places that you like to listen to your podcast, other platform and hosts, let me know. We'd love to get your suggestions. But we did put out a like a questionnaire, right? Do you want to hop into that now?
Yeah. On Instagram, I had a Ask Us Anything.
Yeah, Ask Us Anything. So make sure you follow us on Instagram. How Married Are You is our handle, at How Married Are You. And yeah, you can engage with us there. That's. Do you have the questions picked out, babe?
I'm not going to lie. I didn't have them picked out. But let's start with some light ones. Okay. This person asked, what's the most important thing you actually needed on your wedding registry but didn't think of?
We were so blessed.
We were. I feel like all the kitchen stuff is really nice to have.
The kitchen stuff. I mean, I
feel like go all out on the kitchen stuff. Like if you want a KitchenAid, get the KitchenAid on there. See, Glen, so when we were scanning stuff, you know, I was just...
She was going crazy.
And Glen was like, don't scan that.
I would say knives for the kitchen. I feel like a good set of knives is super important.
But that's coming from someone who's super sedity about knives.
I mean,
though, I'm not going front. Now that like I know a good knife versus a bad knife, thankfully to him.
Mm-hmm. So. And like it saves you time.
It saves you time, but it also saves you injury.
Yeah.
I mean,
a sharp knife is the best knife to use, because a dull knife, you put more pressure, you end up cutting yourself.
Yeah.
I would say kitchen knives for cooking. Yeah. I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything else. Towels?
Don't get me started on the towels. We got some towels.
No, we don't have to get started on the towels. Let's just.
We got some towels from Bed Bath & Beyond. We got a whole new set. Yvette is using some.
Oh, I was using benzoyl peroxide, I think it was. It was like a face wash.
And so we had gray towels, and she would put her face on every towel, and every towel had a pink face print in it.
We still have them.
And we have all those same pinks. I'm like, you know how expensive? Like, someone gave us so many towels. I was so excited. Like, oh my gosh, new towels. Because all my towels were hand-me-down. I move out of somebody's house and just grab a towel. To go out, leave out a hotel room, grab a towel. And I had these mismatched towels. And all of a sudden, we had all the same towels. And Yvette just pink. I'm like, why don't you just use one towel for your face? Yeah, that irritated me.
All right, let's move on to the next one. This one says, Yvette is a 3, so what is Glen's Enneagram type?
4. I don't really know what that means, but I'm a 4. I refuse, like, people. I said I'm a 4, right? People know I'm a 4 because I said I don't really think none of this matters at all. And I guess 4s usually say that.
This person said, are you guys working on your fitness goals together?
No. Last time, guys, we did so well. Mm-hmm. We were working together. We were going to the gym together. It was so amazing. This time, I think life, you know, at that one extra kid that is breastfeeding. Anaya wasn't breastfeeding before. She was breastfeeding, but she was at least walking. Eating. She was also eating. So, you know, getting that whole thing down is just a little rough. I don't know if she's interested in joining the season. I'm not sure. But no, we're not working on it together. But she is doing something, but we're just not together.
I'm a slow and steady wins the race. So I have fitness goals. Like, we're about to celebrate 10 years this year. So one of my goals is to be fine and sexy.
Yeah, maybe you could fit into your wedding dress. She got rid of her wedding dress.
Oh, my goodness. That's nobody's business. Nobody asked about that.
Go to Goodwill. In San Diego, you might be able to find yourself our wedding dress.
How do you deal with in-law tension?
Yeah. In-law tension is real. Mm-hmm. In-law tension is super real. So I would say, and I'm going to put this in two different spaces. Okay, so I'm going to put this in like pre-married space and then post-married space.
And then isn't there a space for like in-law parents versus in-law siblings?
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, when you're not married, your future in-laws are kind of what they guide the course of everything, especially from a man to a woman.
What do you mean by that?
Like they have a lot of big personality. They have a lot of thoughts and feelings, and those things are considered by, you know, like they were considered by you. You don't think so?
Okay.
Yeah.
For the wedding or just in general, like in the relationship?
I think in general, like when you and I were dating, some, you know.
No, I don't. You keep saying
Like,
that.
so like, when you and I were dating and it was early on, like your brother had a really big personality and I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? I was very uncomfortable. You know, it turned out, you know, everything is cool now, but it's like, I think before you married somebody, you know, you really haven't put in on the relationship like that, you know? I remember like me and John got into it so much.
When
even
we were dating?
After marriage.
After marriage, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was points where like I out of his immaturity and out of my like overbearing and my immaturity, like he's like, that's my sister. And I'm like, I feel like John, like, you know, in some of his immaturity and my immaturity, he's like, that's my sister. I'm like, that's my wife. And he's like, I don't care. That's my sister. She's my sister first. I was like, you didn't do anything to earn her respect or love. You were born into the relationship. And so we like, it was a lot of battling with me and him. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't so much with Anthony. I think he was just kind of doing his own thing. But I feel like I came into the family to interrupt the steadiness of the water. Not on purpose, but like as another male coming into a family, like obviously there's going to be some difference there. There's going to be some adjustments. You know, and I think ultimately like it's working out for the good. You know what I mean? Like we're all super cool, super close, but those type of relationships and friction and me not backing down and him not backing down, it's kind of like, well, I don't care what it is. Like it is what it is. Like I'm here, you know, until I'm not. And so your choice of not having me around, that would have been the thing. If you were kind of like, you know what, I consider my brothers too much and I don't want to make them upset. I'm so sorry, this is over. And I'd be like, all right, cool. Well, you know, it wouldn't have been that easy, but I'd have respected that. But I'm not a submit type of dude. I'm kind of like, well, why are you guys doing that? Why is this like this? I don't understand. And so being that type of guy and knowing that about myself, that was something where it's kind of like, I don't know who's going to bend, but it's probably not going to be me. I mean, like I'll adjust to the family if we're going somewhere and doing something for the family. But when it comes to my marriage, my kids, my stuff, y'all going to have to adjust because it's not going to go any way you want it to go. Post marriage, I feel that people need to know you love them. People need to know you care. And every battle doesn't need to be fought. The tension is always there. I can feel tension in every time we interact sometimes with each side of the family. You know what I'm saying? There's tension from years of childhood stuff. So as you enter in the relationship and the family, you got to understand that you may be dealing with unresolved issues from when your significant other was 5 years old.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? And so you're sitting here like, I just want people to like me because I'm finna marry this thing. And if I see any signs of disruption, I'm gonna back out, or I'm kind of scared to. But things, there could be like some things happening, and I would encourage you to pick your battles well in this season. Whether you're in marriage or not, pick your battles well. Post marriage, I would say, set new traditions.
And have good boundaries.
Yeah. Ooh, them boundaries.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just now starting to see the value of boundaries and really honor them for our home and our household, and just knowing that like my family is not necessarily going to always approve of the things that we do. I'm sure all of them have been like, why y'all keep having children? But I mean, whose business is that? It's ours, and it's our
theirs
family.
when they gotta watch them.
But they're not necessarily the ones providing for them. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. Like, I jokingly said something to my mom the other day about having another kid, and I could see it all over her face. Like, y'all better not have no more kids. And I know that comes from a place of like love and concern for us, but it's kind of like, if we did have another kid, you would still love them just like you love all the other 4. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But yeah, I think Glenn is right when he says that there is like a whole other layer to the tension that has nothing to do with you yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
It's mostly from, the past history that it's always the family of origin. Therapy talk. But it's always family of origin issues that people have. And some families don't have those issues. Some people get lucky, but...
Now, if you're like me and you come from a broken home, you can just tell everybody...
And you live in Section 8 housing.
Yeah, Section 8. You come from Section 8. You could just tell everybody, mind your business. Just mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, just... Because, I mean, like, I don't think my people really care, or they know I'm waiting to be like, I wish you would say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think... Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. Let's move on. Hope we covered that question good enough.
Yeah, I don't think we did. How has your communication changed since starting this podcast and YouTube?
Do you want to answer that, or do you want me to?
I feel like you say it's gotten better. And I think you're right. Like, I feel like when I thought about it, because when you first said it, I think I was low-key offended. But then when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that's kind of true. Like, if we didn't sit down and record this podcast, some of the conversations that we've had over the past couple of years would not have happened.
All of them.
I don't think so. There are definitely conversations that would have happened.
No, because when we're not on the podcast, we either talk about super deep personal issues and issues we're having with community, or we're talking about very surface, like what the kids did. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't go into like deep, how are you feeling as a Black woman in this space? You know what I'm saying? We don't really talk like that. It hasn't been like since we started this podcast. Like like this is it. This has been like us. Like,
I feel like it's taking us deeper, but I still feel like we've had these types of conversations.
Can you name one?
What do you
think
mean?
about the old house? Think about us having a conversation that is in depth like this when we weren't in the garage.
I can't recall right now.
Look, remember the house. Remember all the rooms.
Babe, I block out all the bad and think of all the good. That's the trait of mine.
And a lot of the stuff that we have, the conversations we have on the podcast are confrontational. They make you think about things that, you're kind of just mull over, and we didn't have time. Like, we love to watch TV. We had that big old TV in our room. We go in there and we watch TV and we go to sleep. So the podcast has made intentional time for conversation, I think. And even when we were in a car, we didn't talk and the music was off. We just be driving. And then we started turning the music on for the kids because we didn't want to. Remember?
Okay.
Remember how often we used to drive in a car and we picked somebody up and someone was like, you want to turn the music on? We were like, no.
No.
You don't remember we used to do that?
No. I always don't ride with music on. You're the one that always has to have music on.
Nowadays I do because I'm like writing a lot. But go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, the podcast has really helped our communication on getting to know each other. I feel like I know you better now.
Really? Would y'all ever get licensed to marry other couples? I thought that was a funny question.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody just asked Glen.
Yeah. Would we ever get licensed to marry other couples? Maybe.
I don't know. It depends on who the couple is.
Yeah. I mean, it's gotta be crazy, cause like that's a lot of accountability. That's a lot of like, okay, I care about you enough to set aside time to make sure you guys, one, are like working together as a team and you understand what you're walking into, because it's not something you want to do lightly. And I don't know if I want to give people just the permission to do that. You know what I mean? Or just co-sign someone's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one says, did dating each other change after kids? Will a foundation of consistent date night help? I feel like yes, dating each other after kids changes. Yes. I mean, there's so many layers to that. Like, you either have to pay for childcare or find childcare, or you have to arrange childcare in order to go on a date by yourself. And then when you're on the date, you tend to talk about the kids. So then there's that.
Yeah, tonight was date night. We played tennis.
Yeah. And so we've been having a pretty consistent date night since we've hired K-How. And I think that that's been good for us. I mean, at least we know there's an opportunity for us to
be without child.
Yeah. And like be without even baby. So. Yeah,
I remember the last date night we took Uzi on. We went to go watch the sunset. And then we get to the beach. It was super windy.
And he had a poop explosion.
So I went back to the car to change his diaper. Missed the sunset. Came back in the car. And then we went to Lowe's. I was like, man, this is some BS. I do not want to do this.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I like this one. Let's end with this one. This one says, what are your favorite things about marriage? Let's list 3. Let's list 5 together. Okay. What's one?
You have someone to enjoy and laugh with.
Hopefully.
That is it's one of my favorite things. Like I feel like we genuinely have fun. We laugh and enjoy each other's company. I feel like we're slowly having the same type of sense of humor. We both stray on different sides, but I feel like we're starting to find things that we like together.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I would say fun.
Mm-hmm. I would say building a legacy together. Like, I feel like there's going to be like people that come from us, and that like we're going to be able to look back on and be like, oh, like that's our lineage.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same thing as legacy, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You're talking about like, because there will be people who are inspired by what we do and recreate from that. So are you saying that type of legacy?
No, I'm more so talking about like the blood.
Okay.
The lineage.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's cool too.
That for me, like duplicating yourself and that thing becoming better than you are, like that's, that gets me going. I would say the constant process of discovery. Like it's always something to discover, and it's not boring. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sometimes it's a crossword puzzle. Sometimes it's a word search. But it's always like you're trying to figure out how to make things better, or how to serve, or how to help. At least from my perspective, I'm kind of like always investigating, ways to be better in the season. Yeah.
And I would say having a partner in crime, like not in crime, but like someone to because I couldn't imagine having like to parent these kids alone or to, you know, do a lot of things by myself. But to have someone that I can constantly bounce off ideas off of, or thoughts or concerns, or just get that feedback from, I think is valuable. Because I feel like for me, I'm kind of realizing that I'm naturally somebody who, which this is probably going to like confuse you, but I'm kind of someone who like, you know, keeps to myself or can keep to myself. And so to not be able to do that because I'm married to you is nice. Mm-hmm. You know, like to go to bed every night and wake up every morning with you it's good. It's good to know you're there.
I agree. Yeah. I would say that since we're on episode 69.
Oh my gosh.
I would say that like us growing right in the intimacy area, right? And I always bring this up because I feel like the transformation is just so crazy from what it was like before to what it is like now. But like, I've been feeling so much in God's will when I'm with you in that way. Like it used to feel so like something was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it just feels like, man, I've never felt more like I was in God's space, like in God's will than those moments with you. Except for last night.
God.
Ask me how married I am.
Babe.
Ask me how married I am.
I can't stand you.
Ask me.
How married are you?
Babe, I'm so married that I threw away that body cream.
Oh, thank God.
So the other night we were getting in our, you know what I'm saying, thing, right?
Ugh.
And I got out of the shower and this annoys me.
Babe, that's not what this segment is about.
All right, well, I'm going to just talk about with the precursor because this adds to the thing. So I couldn't find the lotion in the bathroom. Now, I didn't want to go out into the room and search for it because Uzi was in the bed sleeping and I didn't want to wake him up. So I put this body cream on. It smells like woman, right? So then I'm like, well, at least I'm lotioned. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying, like I don't want to be ashy up in the bed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, at least I'm lotion in the joint. You know what I mean?
But do you remember?
In the bed.
Okay, go ahead.
We get in the bed and then I'm laying there and I'm like, why am I so sweaty? Like my body was like sticking to the sheets and it felt like I was like it was condensation happening in between the sheets. And so like everything was moistening up. And so Yvette kept like,
no, babe, listen, before that, I asked you, what is that smell? Do you remember?
Yeah, but I was like, no. She was roasting me all night right before. She goes, we both should have brushed our teeth before we came in. I was like, all right. I was like, I did brush my teeth, baby. She's like, you did? But I had like some egg whites and some salsa that I made, some homemade salsa, jalapeno.
And you put jalapeno in that.
Onions, garlic. It was loaded.
That's why.
So I was like, maybe I should have did another. And I brushed for real. You know what I'm saying?
You should have just let the mouthwash
tongue scrape everything. I was like, dang, first of all, I was like, all right, boom. So tonight is the night. But she did tell me my breath stink, but it's still good. And then I started feeling like all moist in the bed. And I felt like the whole bed was getting damp around me. And then Yvette starts touching me and her hand was like sticking. You know how you try to rub something? And it was like, she was like, And then she started laughing. And I'm like, man, this is whack.
It hurts.
I was like, man, so my how married are you is I'm so married.
But did you finish?
Oh, yeah, of course. Just kidding. It was a lot of obstacles in the way. Then Uzi starts crawling on me. Good Lord.
Ow. Ow.
Episode 69, y'all. So then what I did was I threw away the body cream.
Thank you.
I got rid of it. So next time, would you rather me just come in ashy?
Ashy, because at least I know my hands will just slide. But it was like, y'all, I was just like,
it was so bad. Like, and then I was all wet, and I'm like, why is this happening? Why is this like so moist in here?
it was so bad.
Yeah, I almost wanted to take another shower after that.
You needed to.
Yeah,
You should have.
we've never had that experience before.
That was.
Anyway, how married are you, man?
I'm so married that I keep playing tennis with this guy every Wednesday for date night.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's not that I don't enjoy tennis, but lately I've been losing and I just don't understand what's going on. Tonight, though, I could have won.
Tonight,
I really should have won, but my ankles and my knees. So
you probably could have won if you would have hustled a little bit more. No, I'm just saying.
And
No, usually since we started playing, I've been beating her like 6-0. Tonight, I beat her 1-6. I mean 6-1.
but those rallies were close. We kept going the deuce and adding. I don't know if you guys know the scoring system for tennis, but we kept going. Like, we kept getting really close. So it wasn't like I didn't give him a run for his money. But I've been doing the Couch to 5K app, and I think it's catching up to me because my knees and my ankles are just jacked up. But I really think what it is, I just need new running shoes.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. Anywho.
All right.
And that's just how married we are.